Either way, I've hit the recording button now, so there's no takesies backsies. Welcome to the JustCast. Today I'm here with Iron. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
No, just bug.
Just bug.
That's all I'm here for. I just want to yap about bugs.
We're all here for the bugs.
All I know is that I'm starting with some beautiful bugs that no one realizes are actually super closely related, which is praying mantises, like any of the Mantidae, and everything in the cockroaches family, the Blattidae. Both of those families are like the closest extant relatives of each other. So it's a fun little thing a lot of people don't know.
So is it kind of like how humans are genetically related to bananas? Or like closer so?
No, it's way closer. It's like they both recently, like last probably 50 million years or so, evolved off of the same insect into two different, like, completely different clades of other insects. It's really fun.
That's actually pretty cool. So it's just like a split family tree rather than a just these two things are genetically similar or just related in that way.
This is like evolutionary science where they're really closely related besides like other stuff of the exact same family. Like these are the things outside of their family that are as close to them as possible.
So it's kind of like it's like this special little, this is exactly where it's split thing, and you can kind of see how it followed through beyond that through the little steps of evolution. See, that's actually really cool.
Termites also get in here somehow. Do you know anything about termites?
I know a little bit about termites. I know that they like to destroy everything they touch, but that's about the extent of that knowledge.
Well, so the reason why termites are so problematic is because they're basically a family of eusocial cockroach. So termites are quite literally cockroaches that work like ants. Eusocial bugs are just really cool. Ants, bees, wasps, termites, all those guys get up to some crazy shenanigans because they don't care about themselves as individuals. They only care about their bigger like colony.
Okay, so like the hive mind kind of thing, where it's just like the survival of the colony is more important than the survival of the individual.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh god, I think it's a Japanese bee like species. I can't remember. It's definitely an Asian bee because they kill the Asian hornets by like literally grouping up on them and overheating the bug till it's just dead.
I've heard about that. It's literally just like a vibrating heat ball where they kill whatever's inside. Yes, I do know what this is.
Yeah, so that's just like one cool thing that eusocial bugs do. Basically there's a type of ant that has like a giant flat circle on their head that kind of looks like the top of like a sewer.
Oh, like a manhole? Like a manhole
cover?
Yeah,
a manhole cover. Yeah, they can just block off the entrances to their holes with that.
Wait, I think I've seen a picture of one of those before. It's literally like he's got a hat but was crushed flat, like a Looney Tunes episode.
They're called turtle ants. That's what they're called.
Okay, turtle ants.
And they like to live in like trees and stuff. So they'll like have little openings in the trees that they can kind of just make it harder to tell that anyone's inside with their flat heads. Oh my god, that actually reminds me. There's a specific bird. It's one of the many tits out there that like whenever they make their nest, they kind of snake proof it by making two entrances to their nest. There's a false entrance that opens up into just a little opening, and the real entrance that they will block off anytime they're not in there, or even I think they'll still cover it even when they're in there. But basically they can hide the entrance to their nest so the snakes don't come into the real entrance. They'll check the false entrance, it'll be empty, and the snake moves on.
I didn't realize that birds were that intelligent.
Well, yeah. So everyone knows corvids are smart. Like, there's so many other types of birds that are really intelligent in really silly ways. Parrots are incredibly intelligent as well.
Oh, I forgot about parrots because they can literally just talk.
Corvids can also vocalize the same way parrots do. It's just a lot more terrifying because they have a deeper, cracklier tone.
I wonder how many times that like animal cries in general have been mistaken for like the horrors.
Oh, if you've ever heard a mountain lion cry.
Oh, I have. It literally sounds like a woman screaming. It is absolutely terrifying. Before you know what something is, you're gonna make up stories about it and kind of just rationalize it, I guess.
That's probably how we got the stories of the Kraken. Because now we know there is quite literally a deep sea giant squid.
Yeah.
But I could imagine being a sailor in a time where no one knew about this giant squid, and you just see one that's not supposed to be there. It's definitely out of its element. It's probably just as scared as you are, so it's going to freak out and like lash against you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with like sailors and manatees, right? Where it's the myth of mermaids came from that.
Yeah, that's still so funny. These beautiful women were alluring us. Literally a manatee.
Listen, manatees are beautiful. I don't know what you're talking
They're
about.
beautiful, but not like that.
We just put one in a wig. It's basically like a gorgeous mermaid when you think about it.
No, actually, you might be onto something.
Yeah, you know, blow them a little kiss as you sail on by.
Speaking of the ocean, did you know there's only one, like, true family of insect that fully lives out its cycle in the ocean?
Gotta do some extensive research on this. I'm interested now. You've gotten me.
The sea skaters. The sea skaters.
What are the sea skaters?
Basically, they just live on the surface of water. Especially, like, oceans and, like, different... Well, oceans are actually their least common habitat. There are a couple that live in oceans, but they'll live in different marine climates that are a bit more controlled.
Okay, like water striders then. Like those?
Yeah, kind of, but like specific to the ocean and very very interesting little guys.
Do they swim or do they live on the surface?
They kind of, if I remember correctly, float on the surface.
Okay. I know a lot of bugs tend to float, so that's why I was curious, because I'm like, ooh, I can't really imagine one. Like, I'm sure that there are some that will sink, but I know a lot of them do float on water.
There's actually a type of spider that dives.
I know about those. That's why I'm so scared of, rivers. Oh, yep.
There's also diving beetles and stuff.
I live in an area with a lot of, cranberry bogs. So, I am quite familiar with some of those swimming spiders.
Do you know how sometimes you'll be walking and you'll randomly feel like spider web on your face?
Yes, I hate that. I hate when that happens.
That's actually the consequence of a really interesting way that spiders can sometimes move around, known as ballooning.
Yes! I learned about this from Charlotte's Web. I won't lie.
They use silk threads to literally ride the air currents. And so once they release those threads, sometimes they'll land on your forehead and you'll be like, what the hell? Why did you?
What is this? What is this on my face? Oh god, scream and swat.
Yeah, there's been so many times when I was a kid I thought I had walked through spider webs and I felt awful because I've always loved insects, even though spiders used to scare the hell out of me.
And it was those little guys instead, just flying around?
They were just flying around.
I'm sure that thought will terrify many people, but to me it's very cool.
I mean, if you feel the web, the spider's probably already long gone.
Yeah, that's true. I used to be a lot more afraid of spiders than I am now. Like, it kind of went in a circle. It's like, when I was little, I was not afraid of spiders. I would pick up daddy long legs and anything that I found in the yard, and I would be like, ooh, this looks delicious. You know, as a child does. And then I got a little older, and then I would be like, ooh, The creepy crawlies, not a fan of that. I don't want those near me or my face or anything like that. And then, like, now that I'm older, I'm like, no, I would like some house spiders, actually, because they keep away all of the other bugs. I'm cool with, like, the occasional spider just chilling in my house, but anything else, no thank you. I don't really want ants. I don't want, like, weevils. I don't want any of that. Single
You don't
house
like
spider?
weevils,
I don't want any weevils.
but they're so cute. They got boots and snoots.
They got them appy bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
The commonly referred to harvestmen that people usually mean when they're talking about daddy long legs are actually just arachnids that are similar to spiders. They're not true spiders.
Oh.
Unless you're specifically talking about cellar spiders. Because that's another thing, like it's called a daddy long leg. The real difference is they don't spin webs.
I've never seen webs on any of the ones that I've seen. I just see the
Yeah.
little guys running around chilling.
Yeah, honestly, daddy long legs can creep me out because they're fast little guys.
True. There's been times where I've seen like a bunch of them together and I've just kind of dipped my hands into it like an insane person.
I respect you, but I could never.
Like, as soon as I learn that something isn't like poisonous, venomous, or going to harm me in any way, I'll just dip my hands in it. It's not a big deal. I'm like, ooh, ladybug, yoink. Although ladybugs, I'm cool with the colors of them, right? And all of the variety of beetle-like creatures like that look similar, because I know there's a lot that look like ladybugs but aren't ladybugs. But the smell drives me insane.
Oh yeah. You can tell when there's a lot of ladybugs because you can smell them.
Oh yes, I've had some friends of mine that have dealt with ladybug infestations before, and it is the most horrific smelling thing that I have ever experienced in my life. It is awful.
It's so interesting that like ladybugs can infest. Well, actually, I don't think it's true ladybugs. I believe they're Asian lady beetles that people usually have issues with,
Yes,
which
that
are
sounds right.
very similar. But like they're invasive, so your predators in the area aren't going to be trying to search them out until they figure out, oh wow, this is actually edible. But also, a lot of things don't mess with ladybugs because they're just little tanks.
Yeah.
Same goes for a lot of beetles, actually. Speaking of, have you ever seen those Go My Scarab videos? Where like people just let go of a giant beetle and it'll just fly all silly like into walls and
Yes.
stuff?
Yes, I have. I've seen those.
So that's actually a consequence of beetles evolving to be very decent at multiple different things, but not good at any of them.
So it's like the jack of all trades of the bug world.
Yeah, so beetles can both burrow and fly. Most bugs that can fly can't burrow because their wings are vulnerable to the dirt and stuff, like tearing them up. But beetles have evolved this really cool thing called an elytra.
Like in
that allows them
Minecraft?
to... Yeah! Not really, though. It lets them protect their wings when they're burrowing. But it also leads to like a lack of controlled flight. Like they can fly, but they're not good at controlling it. They'll just kind of fly into things. Though it doesn't really affect them because they're just giant balls of armor.
So you're hitting a window going 100 miles an hour, but you're chilling because
You're wearing a helmet.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I think that it's better that way, though. If you've evolved to, like, protect yourself while also still being able to have that level of mobility is pretty impressive.
You know, they're really cool. And I don't think they get enough respect just because they're so common.
I've loved beetles, but I've also experienced a lot of, like, variety in them, because I live in an area where there's a lot of different kinds of them. I mean, they're all native to America, but, you know. Well, there's some invasive. There's definitely some invasive in hindsight now that I'm thinking about it, but...
You want to hear something crazy about beetles?
Lay it on me.
They are probably one of the most speciose like creatures out there, period.
Hmm.
I believe they make up somewhere from like 30 to 40% of all insects. And even
Jeez.
crazier, like a quarter of all extant animals on Earth.
See, I would have expected ants to be the bigger one there, or maybe ants are the bigger one. Right?
So
In population,
there's
maybe, right?
population wise, but not species wise.
Okay.
So I'm talking about described different species here. I'm not talking about just like living beetles.
Yeah. So that means so there is more species of them than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's actually super cool. I didn't realize that so many things fell under the beetle umbrella.
Well, now you know it's almost more things fall under the beetle umbrella than any other umbrella.
I wonder what the next biggest umbrella would be. Or if there's like the bigger one than that. In regards to everything, not just bugs, but you know.
I know cockroaches are also speciose.
Cockroaches can survive anything. I am just like they can take a nuke and just be like la di da, walking away. Don't even worry about it, guys.
There's 4,600 described cockroach species.
Jesus. Wait, then how
But
many
only
beetles?
oh, you want that's going to be a fun one. Roughly 400,000 described species of beetles.
See, there comes a time with like numbers where it just becomes an unimaginable number, where it's like you
Yeah.
think you can imagine it in your mind, but you really have no concept of how much that is. This is one of those times. Like, that is an incomprehensible number to me.
If you lined up all those beetles, it's so crazy. It's over a mile of beetles.
See, that I feel like it would be more. Like in my brain I'm just like that's such a big number. I feel like it would be more, but realizing how little tiny itty bitty they are,
Well,
that's pretty,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
one singular of average beetles for 400,000 beetles.
Okay.
I'm like, this isn't a truly accurate number because there's some giant beetles, like Hercules beetles, right?
Yeah. The big
Um,
ones.
yeah, the ones that they fight. They fight like Hercules beetles and rhinoceros beetles in certain places.
So there's like Beetle Fight Club.
Yeah, yeah. People people like breed specific like beetles for fighting and like show and stuff.
That's great. Well, I can understand why, especially with some of the types that I've seen. I can see why people would like see them as combatants. Because some of them are like pretty intimidating to look at. I can imagine like a full-sized beetle just like running at you. That would be scary.
Yeah. Oh, also, so on the topic of like a bunch of different species, right?
Yeah.
Um, Hymenoptera, which is ants, bees, wasps, and one other thing I cannot ever remember. They're only the third most speciose bug,
Okay.
counting all of them, and that's about 150,000 species.
Just not a huge fan of the ones that can jump at you. It's like a little jump scare.
Mm. Are you aware that the mosquitoes that people complain about are only the female mosquitoes?
The horrible ones that bite me and give me a bad time all of the time.
Yeah, that's only the female mosquitoes.
So we just hate all of the female ones, but the male ones are okay then.
The male ones are pollinators. Uh, they can't bite you.
Male mosquitoes are pollinators?
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work? Alright, you've unlocked some new lore for me here. What's going on with that?
If you look at like the mouth of a male mosquito versus a female mosquito, um, they're like smaller, bushier mouths.
Okay.
and they don't have like the same rigidity to like poke into your skin. They live off of like nectar, plant juice, and sugars, which, to be fair, I think female mosquitoes do as well.
They just also hate us specifically.
Mosquitoes use their blood or use our blood and other blood for their young, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But I could be misremembering. I'm not an entomologist. I just really like bugs.
So they're not like butterflies then, where they just will be attracted to anything liquid, basically.
I mean, anything sweet is still gonna get a mosquito's attention. Because it's gonna smell like nectar and stuff. But there's more to it for them than for like a butterfly or a moth.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, butterflies and moths are the second most like species rich. So that's really cool.
I'm not surprised with the butterflies and moths. That one is less surprising to me just because, like, I've been to places that house butterflies, like, even just the, almost like the indoor greenhouse kind of spaces that have a ton and ton and ton of them. Been to museums with that, like, very, very cool. Definitely recommend going to those if you haven't already. But there's just so much variety there. And within that variety, there's also so much variety. So I'm very much not surprised that there is that many in regards to species as a whole.
I love butterflies, but I think moths are cooler. I think they don't get enough respect.
I remember the first time I saw a Luna moth in real life. So I was up in the mountains, let's call it that. I was up in the mountains during the summer, I think. And there was a huge, like, group of Luna moths just attracted to the big light out on the front steps. And I'm just, like, watching them, and I never realized how large they are. And I thought it was, like, a bird at first. I'm like, why is there a bird just, like, flapping on the porch this late at night? And it wasn't. It was, like, a group of them just all bashing their little heads into the giant light outside.
Oh god. I know Luna moths are decently large. But I think even bigger than that are the Atlas moths.
Mm-hmm.
Which has like a wingspan of 9.5 inches.
That's actually huge. Like for a bug of any kind, that's huge.
I know once upon a time we had like giant insects, but even them at their biggest, if I remember correctly, they never, like, any winged insects never had a wingspan larger than a meter. Even like when we had giant insects, they still weren't crazy big compared to everything else, like all the other megafauna and stuff.
I mean, it's really cool.
No, I was just thinking though. I've been talking a lot about bugs, but I recently just learned how like insane Komodo dragons are.
Yes.
Like I knew they were impressive. I knew they were, but I believe their bites are venomous, but not in the same way a snake bite is. So Komodo dragons, when they bite you, you'll get bit once, maybe a few times, and you'll escape without realizing like that just signed your death. The thing about Komodo dragons is their venom isn't fast acting. It's a very slow acting. It'll slowly weaken you. Within like a day or two, you'll be unable to run anymore. And that's when you find out the Komodo dragon has slowly been tailing you the whole time because they can hunt their prey for like miles.
Oh, so it's kind of like how humans are with stamina over speed. Okay.
Yeah, but Komodo dragons is like I wouldn't say it's stamina because they're not going for stamina. They're not chasing you the whole time. They're just making sure they can keep on your trail for whenever you do finally lose your strength to run from them anymore. Because humans, we evolved to literally run after you the whole time, but at a steady pace instead of burst speed. Also, another really cool thing is like there's very few venomous lizards. If I remember correctly, there is 3. Now I have to look this up.
Of course. I mean, venomous lizards surprise me a little bit. Like, I know that they're reptiles, and a lot of reptiles are venomous, but I just forget that lizards are too, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
there is 3. So there's 2 traditionally recognized venomous lizards: the Gila monster and the Mexican beaded lizard. Which I don't think you've ever had to deal with Gila monsters. I don't know how much time you've spent in the desert of the like Southwest America and Mexico, but
Not much.
I've seen a couple Gila monsters, and you get taught not to let those things bite you, but also don't let them flip.
Don't let them flip.
So the way they inject their venom is different than like a snake or something. Their
Okay.
venom glands are in their lower jaw, and it travels through
Oh.
like their teeth and grooves. So when they flip, they use gravity to help like inject the venom.
Okay, so if they bite you and flip, it's really bad, as opposed to
Yeah,
them just biting you.
yeah. If they bite you, they still have a chance of like envenomating you, like because it's all over in their like lower mouth. But if they flip, it becomes a bit scarier.
When I did previously go down to the desert in general, one of the biggest things I was warned about was any kind of venomous creatures that could be
Mm-hmm.
lurking in the grass. You know, wear long pants, wear boots if you can, or in the summertime, just be very, very aware
Yeah.
in case you're outside.
In the colder seasons, you don't have to worry as much about it because a lot of the stuff that's venomous is going to be hiding in warm areas like under rocks and stuff. Because a lot of the venomous stuff is cold-blooded. I will say that doesn't mean you're 100% safe. Like, let's say you go out camping in the middle of winter and you're gathering firewood, you might pick up wood and accidentally uh unveil like a diamondback rattler or something. I mean, to be fair, rattlesnakes are the least scary type of venomous snake, in my personal opinion, just because a lot of the time they'd rather warn you than bite you.
Yeah,
I've had plenty of close calls with rattlesnakes where they're just you hear the rattle and you go wherever you don't hear the rattle. You just walk away.
I've had plenty of snake incidents, but the snake incidents I have always been with non-venomous snakes.
I love non-venomous snakes. Like if I could, I'd go out, I'd pick up rat snakes. I'd go out and play with king snakes all day. But the issue is that there's so many similar snakes that are venomous that I don't have the knowledge to risk picking up a snake.
I'm trying to think if there is a single snake that I have encountered in real life, like not in a zoo, not while traveling, like somewhere where I know there are, but like just in my day to day, and I cannot think of one. And it might just be because it is not common. Like, I don't live near a lot of venomous creatures in general. I think the biggest concern in general might be like something with rabies or bird flu. There was this show that I used to watch when I was extremely young. I think it was like Creepy Creatures or something like that. It was something like that, and it was on VHS. I remember this very vividly, and it had this segment on Black Widows. And I
Okay.
remember for years and years and years, it terrified me because of this one scene in it where a Black Widow crawled into someone's shoes. So after that, I would always check my shoes.
Growing up in the desert, you had to make sure you were flipping your shoes over and stuff. You never knew what was sneaking in there. You don't want to get a scorpion sting on the toe. You don't want to have like a snake who thought your shoe was nice and warm whenever you took it off.
You want to
Um,
avoid the conflict with the small
yeah,
creatures that might harm you.
yeah. Desert creatures are really interesting little guys though. Um, Yeah. So horny toads, right, are just like these adorable little lizards. They're just covered in little spikes, and they look like a mix of like a toad and a lizard.
Yes, I've seen these before. I remember these.
And they do some very interesting self-defense. It's called ocular autohemorrhaging, and they just shoot blood. Like they
What?
shoot blood from their eyes.
What?
It's insane.
Wait, the second you said hemorrhaging, I'm like, excuse me? I'm sorry, they're doing what now?
Yeah, they will shoot blood from their eyes. I've seen it like twice.
You've seen this happen.
Yeah, yeah. You scare one of those little guys and blood. It's just
Oh, like how frogs will pee on you if you pick them up.
yeah. There's one species of they're technically wasps. These little wasps are absolutely terrifying, but they're so pretty that kids would play with them without knowing what they were messing with. Let me know if this name rings a bell. Velvet ants.
Okay, yes. I'm a little familiar with them.
Another common name for them is the cow killer.
Yes, I'm much more familiar with that name for them.
They are the most beautiful little wasps. They look like ants with like tufts of fur on their back. They're all kinds of colorful. So of course a kid sees this and is like, I want to play with it. The males of that species, not very dangerous. They're not going to sting you. The females have one of the most painful stings in the world.
I learned about sunfish and, what is it, tripod fish or something along those lines recently. Not a fun life.
Oh, the tripod fish that just sit on the bottom of the ocean, can't swim.
I feel like everybody has seen that info about the tripod fish. It's the saddest thing. It's like, oh, congratulations, buddy. That's the worst anyone's ever done.
I wouldn't say it's the worst, because they're still alive. They are still successful to some degree.
I mean, if their goal is survive and reproduce, they're doing a great job at that.
To be fair, that's all any living animal's actual goal is.
Isn't that true for some types of moths? Where they don't actually need to eat, but they just reproduce?
Once they reach like their adult stage, they no longer have a mouth to eat. It's really unfortunate because a lot of like really pretty moths are like that, where like they can't survive more than a couple days.
Very short lifespans. I feel like a lot of things have very, very short lifespans, but that could just be in relation to us as people, because humans have a much longer lifespan in comparison to a lot of things, and then I look at like tortoises and turtles and stuff, I'm like, but not enough.
Another really, really unfortunate thing is what we've done to silk moths.
Yes.
So domestic silk moths, they are absolutely adorable, but they can't live without a human.
If you look at it, the same thing kind of happened with pigeons, like how all pigeons are feral pigeons because they were domesticated, and then now they're like bad at existing because they were never meant to be not domesticated at the point that we got them to. Not to say I don't think silk moths could bounce back as well, but
I mean, they're still wild silk moths, don't get me wrong. Just the fact that we have a whole lineage of domesticated silk moths that are so different than wild silk moths that they have their own named species is insane. Another animal we've done something very sad to are sheep. Wild sheep do not grow those crazy coats. It wouldn't make sense to grow those in the wild.
it's why you absolutely have to shear your sheep. That's why it's actually a good thing to dock the tails of them, because people forget that sheep have tails, and pretty much all of the sheep that are domesticated have docked tails to help prevent horrible infections and damage, and it's like, now it's necessary because of how they've been bred over the years, how they evolved.
Yeah, it's depressing and terrifying.
So, sheep I am quite familiar with. That's when That's one of the ones I like. It's sad what happened to them, but also, oh look, they're so cute and fluffy.
Oh yeah, look at the baby. I want to pat its head.
Look at the little baby. Those I have grown up around, so.
Yeah, I think it is really unfortunate, like what we've done to certain animals.
Humans love to interfere.